All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty profound from Hindu philosophy, a framework for really seeing reality. It's built on three powerful words, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. It's a practical guide to seeing things more clearly. So let's just jump right in. Okay, let's kick things off with an idea from our source material that it might just stop you in your tracks. Think about the image you have of someone you love, say, your own mother. That image in your head? It's not her. It's a collage, right? A mix of your own memories, your biases, your feelings. The source says that up to 99% of that image could be your own projection. Just wow. And of course, that just blows everything wide open, doesn't it? I mean, if our closest, most intimate mental pictures are that distorted, then what is actually real? How do we ever get past our own stuff to see the truth of a person, or anything for that matter? So that brings us to our first section, the perception problem. You see, according to the source, we're basically living in a world of these distorted images. What we think we know about each other and even ourselves, it's all based on fragments. We see the part that's projected, the part that's presented, the part that fits our own story. We're interacting with these incomplete pictures all day long, and we mistake them for the real thing, for the full reality. Okay, so section 2, truth, two realities. So to find what's really real, we've got to understand that the source material talks about two completely different kinds of truth, or Satyam. And this slide lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got relative truth. This is the changing, material world of facts and perceptions. The source calls this whole domain prakriti, or material nature. Then on the other side, you've got absolute truth, the ultimate, unchanging reality that's beyond all that. Getting this difference is, it's everything. So first up, let's talk about relative truth, or Vyavaharika Satyam. This is pretty much everything in the world we can see and measure. Like your blood pressure when you go to the doctor. It's a real fact, right? But it changes. 5 minutes later, it could be different. Our thoughts, our feelings, our perceptions, they're all part of this changing, relative world. But then you have the complete opposite of that, absolute truth, or Paramarthika Satyam. Now, this isn't a bunch of facts that change. Nope. This is the one single, unchanging, ultimate reality that's underneath it all. And in this philosophy, that's called Brahman.
All right, section 3, the ego's knot. So if this ultimate reality is out there, what's stopping us from seeing it? What's creating all this distortion and keeping us stuck in this fragmented world?
Well, the source points to one central culprit, a concept called the Aham Jiva Granthi. And that translates almost poetically as the knot of misidentification. Think of it as this core psychological tangle that filters our entire experience of, everything. And this is how that knot gets tied. It's actually pretty straightforward when you break it down. It starts with aham. That's just our basic sense of I. Then that I gets attached to the jiva. That's the temporary physical you, with your body, your mind, your whole story. The granthi, that's the knot itself. It's that deep-seated mistake of thinking, I am this body. I am these thoughts. And this knot, it's basically the engine of our ego. Just like the source says here, the ego's whole job is to manage how we're seen. It's constantly filtering reality to make us look good, to get that promotion, to be seen in the best possible light. I mean, it's a survival mechanism for sure, but it's also the very thing that keeps us from seeing the plain, simple truth. Now, check this out. The source gets really specific about how the ego protects this knot. It says the ego wears two gloves of ignorance. The first one is that voice in your head that says, this is repetitive, I've heard this all before. And the second glove says, yeah, I get it, I already understand all this. These two attitudes are like shields that just deflect any deeper truths from ever getting through. Okay, so section 4, beauty is the gateway. So how in the world do we untie this knot? You might be surprised. The path laid out here doesn't start with some heavy intellectual workout. It starts somewhere much, much more accessible. So we all know the famous phrase, right? Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Truth, auspiciousness, beauty. But here's the twist. The source suggests we actually have to live it in reverse. The path to Satyam, to truth, doesn't start with truth. It begins with Sundaram, with beauty. And this is so important. We don't start with abstract ideas. We start with what's right in front of our senses. The beauty of a piece of music, a painting, the pattern on a leaf, a sacred form in a temple. Why? Because beauty is the gateway. It kind of sneaks past that intellectual judging ego and speaks directly to the heart.
And when we let ourselves really experience that beauty, something shifts. It starts to awaken a deeper kind of perception. We begin to sense Shivam, that's the auspiciousness, the life force, the vibrant consciousness that's in everything. We start to see the difference between Shiva, which is alive and conscious, and Shava, which is just inert and lifeless. We start to see the life pulsing through things. So this brings us to our final section, the path to liberation. This whole progression, from beauty to life to truth, it's not just a nice thought. It's laid out as a very real, tangible path to a completely different state of being. And the ultimate destination of this journey of untying that knot is a state called Jivan Mukti. Now, this isn't some promise of a reward in the afterlife. It literally means liberation while living. It's all about experiencing a profound sense of freedom and clarity right here, right now.
So how would you even know if you're there? The source gives us one single, clear measurement, Akhanda Ananda. This means an unbroken bliss or contentment that has nothing to do with what's happening outside of you. It's not about your circumstances. It's about a stable, peaceful joy that comes from within. So this whole beautiful framework, it brings us all the way back to a very simple but incredibly profound starting point. It really leaves us with one final question. And it's not some big philosophical puzzle, it's deeply personal. The path to seeing reality more clearly, to untying that knot in our own minds, it all begins with beauty. So the only real question left is, where are you going to find it today?